Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream. Friday night, June 13th, Friday the 13th. And we've got Iranian missiles hitting Tel Aviv and surrounding cities, Israel. We'll see how bad these strikes from Iran are. But we got some news today that Trump knew about the strikes. He's in support. And he still apparently wants to work out some type of deal with Iran. Whether or not that can happen will depend partially on the capability of the Iranian military, how much of a fight they put up, and really this initial response, because Israel is going to be begging the United States for serious help if this is a strong Iranian response. You've been asleep for a couple of days, anything happen? Well, they're jazzing up tomorrow. When they do this, when they hype up these protests, I don't think the protests are going to result in much tomorrow. They overhype it. But there's a bunch of protests tomorrow. Of course, Israel, Iran, that's the big thing right now. Should be an interesting live stream. Well, yesterday was insane. We were talking about the Trump stuff with the amnesty, and then out of nowhere, U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has sirens alarmed. I know someone was saying a U.S. Embassy had been hit. I mean, this is like, we can see the writing on the wall. Here we come. Here we come. Thank you for streaming back to back this week. We appreciate it. Yeah, I was, we had that news with Musk and Trump, and that kind of got me back into the streaming. So there's been more news. And I said I would stream until at least Saturday because, consecutively, because the streams have been profitable for me and there's been news. And then obviously we've got this. So, and then Saturday it's the protests. Yeah, right. Slow news week. He's like, yeah, I should probably get inside. Iran says most of the damage at the underground uranium enrichment plant is on the surface level. That's not too surprising. The U.S. military now taking part in the fight against Iran's assault on Israel. I mean, it was reported that the U.S. military and the UK arms were shooting down Iranian missiles yesterday. I saw that report. Chuck, what's up, man? Did you see Tucker Carlson's tweet? Yeah, I saw it. DJ, I appreciate it, man. Driving from Georgia to Mississippi, listening to you. What's the scoop on the Doge cuts, Iran, and the big beautiful bill? Well, I think the bill has been pushed to the back burner for the time. Everyone's talking about Iran and the response. The response by Iran is going to be very critical on whether or not Israel makes this a bigger situation, because if Iran really strikes Israel heavily, I mean, we can see the warning signs to the U.S. really being involved here, because apparently they already had an embassy in the Middle East. Georgia to Mississippi, man, that's got to be real hot this time of year. But and then the Doge cuts, yeah, apparently they passed around $9 billion in Doge cuts. The Doge cuts are really vague. It's hard to know. Apparently there's around $150 billion in which supposedly they cut, but it's not annual, so it's not going to come out of the budget every year. But it's like $150 billion. I don't know. There's a lot of disputed stuff on the Doge cuts, but apparently they passed around $9 billion and got through the House. So we'll see if that goes through. But just joined. What did you miss? Well, I just started the live stream. I'm just reacting to the stuff that I liked earlier today on the news. This is Iran punching back on the Israel strikes yesterday with their missiles. There's been reports Iran now launching missiles at Israel again. This follows the Israel strike within the past hour. So there's missiles going back and forth. Iranian missiles destroyed entire block in Israel. Let's not forget Iran trying to kill Trump. Guessing he never forgot about that. I saw something Do you guys remember when Trump said that if Iran assassinates me, they're going to be decimated? That's what Trump said. But the whole Iran trying to kill Trump thing was really strange. It kept coming up. It was almost like they were force feeding it to us. The media was during the election cycle. During the summer, they would always talk about Iran. Remember what there was a report of Trump's plane almost being shot at, and they were going to blame Iran, and there's a lot of that. And now they're talking about some type of false flag tomorrow. Right now, let's just be honest, the vast majority of the public does not want the US to be involved with this. I mean, we already are because we fund Israel, but in terms of us having an active, engaging role within this conflict, there's 80% doesn't want, doesn't want the US to have the type of hands-on. I mean, even when you've got Charlie Kirk coming out and saying, all right, the young people are saying we shouldn't be involved, you know that most people don't want the US involved in this. So it's like, well, is there going to be an event, a catalyst perhaps, to turn support for more US involvement? The parallels to World War I are insane. Balkan, Middle East, Germany, US, Austria, Hungary, Israel, Serbia, Iran, Russia, Britain, France. Yeah, but I mean, you're comparing, I mean, we've got way, way, way different setup than World War I and how that snowballed. But I mean, the problem is, this is the issue. I mean, comparing World War I mean, World War I was over 100 years ago. Just based on a technological level, comparing, it's futile. The problem is when you have multiple hot conflicts, that's when it gets scary. So this is becoming a hot conflict. Russia Ukraine technically is still a hot conflict. I mean, you still have the situation, but it's really localized with Hamas and Israel. But this is more of a regional thing. I mean, when you get these multiple spats, it becomes more of a problem. And that's when you start talking about world war. But I don't know, man. We can be optimistic about the situation and say, well, maybe that Israel or Iran will be destroyed to the point to where their return strikes don't do enough damage. I mean, Trump still says he wants to work out some type of deal. I'm getting mixed messages from Trump and from what Israel... I mean, obviously, Israel doesn't want there to be a deal. This is their window to destroy or severely weaken Iran, whether they're going to topple their government, whatever, or just destroy the nuclear facilities. And Trump is saying we can still do some type of deal. That's what Trump said in his Truth Social. Will crypto recover? Oh yeah, crypto will recover easily. I mean, Bitcoin is still doing fine. There's some coins that are doing well right now. Crypto will be fine, man. I mean, we'll see what happens, but this doesn't surprise me in terms of the turmoil within crypto. If there's a situation within the Middle East, there were previous strikes to where I think it affected the markets even worse. Last year, there were Israeli strikes. Iran propaganda was a cover up in case the Dems killed Trump. Yeah, it's possible. Japan coming out and talking about it, condemning Israel strikes on Iran. Absolutely unacceptable that military means were used amid ongoing diplomatic efforts to find a peaceful solution. Rasmussen has 54% support for a strike on Iran, 80% in GOP circles. This whole online X bubble doesn't represent the GOP base. 54% support for strike. Yeah, but Rasmussen is very conservative as well, man. I mean, I know they'd had a good election, but I don't know about. I mean, I'd like to see a poll from a composite rather than just Rasmussen. But even 80% GOP circles. I mean, if it's 80%, you would figure it'd probably be below 50% in general. Dude, like another war in the Middle East, no matter what you like. So what, we're going to stop them maybe having a nuclear bomb? Do you know, like, the original negotiations were for, like, 3% enrichment? If you say, well, they don't care about that, it's like, all right, man, but is it really worth it? Is this seriously worth it? I guess it depends how much you love Israel. That's it. Do you think Iran will ever trust the U.S. after that shit? Well, I mean, they already shouldn't have trusted us after they originally agreed to that nuclear deal, and then Trump ripped it up just like that. But I mean, do they really have a choice? Is the question. You should cover the story not through the prism of Trump because you're biased. Well, I am. I've been critical of Trump here and there because when something happens, I mean nobody wants we I don't want this war to happen, right? I really don't. I mean, look at Mike Johnson. It's like the boomer, low resolution image. Israel has a right to defend itself against what? Maybe a nuclear bomb that we don't know if it exists. That probably doesn't exist. After I mean, they have nuclear weapons and they lie about it. It's like, come on. I mean, it's defending itself against what? There was no origin. I mean, it's come on. It just. Israel says Iran crossed red lines after firing missiles at civilians. And so that's going to potentially be more escalation if that's true. National debt will surpass 37 trillion this month, and we want World War III. Yeah, you're right. National debt is about to be 37 trillion because it was 36.9 the last time I saw it, and obviously it's going to keep going up. We're gonna have to. It's going to take years to try and. The only way it goes down is if you get rid of the deficit. I mean, the national debt is the national debt. It is. I think it's more so. The important thing is the deficit. If you can get the deficit slowed, it'll be easier to manage. But Alexander, thank you. What is that currency? Czech Republic? I don't even know. A country that's never going to surrender, and the U.S. needs to topple the government and doesn't want to do a land invasion and lose men. Sounds like Japan. No, 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 no. I mean, Japan was actually a world war, and whether or not you think the U.S. was justified in their nuclear bomb usage, I mean, we did want to do a land invasion. There was no point. I mean, we wanted them to surrender. The Japanese, they're honorable, and it's like they had all control of all those islands, and it would have been a tough guerrilla warfare against the Japanese, and we would have lost a lot of troops. I mean, we were winning, so it's like, do we lose a bunch of troops just to do an actual invasion, which I guess is more honorable than the bomb drops? I mean, it's a tough decision. But I mean, this can be classified as more regional, and this is not even us. I mean, it was us against Japan. Those were the main combatants. We would be just a strategic partner to Israel. I mean, this is mainly Israel against Iran. You're just observing outside of the X feed, new right influencers. You say it doesn't matter, but when the Houthis and Yemen get their hands on nukes, what would you say then? Well, I mean, what do you say that Pakistan has nuclear capability and they almost used it against India? I mean, I think it's best case that nobody has. You want as few countries as possible to have nuclear capability, but I mean, what are we talking about? We had a nuclear deal to where they enriched to 3.67%. That's a long ways away from 90%, which is what you need. Now you could say, well, I mean that's the other thing. It's like Trump could have gotten a better deal than Obama. At least that's what we were led to believe. Now maybe that intel was wrong. Maybe they were negotiating differently. But I mean, it wasn't like Trump was negotiating with Iran to say, "Oh yeah, you guys can have the capability to enrich your uranium to 90%, and that's our negotiation." it was 3%. So it wasn't like the deal would have been them automatically getting a nuclear bomb or Israel striking them. It was them enriching to 3%. Israel had wanted to strike them for months because of the weakened state of their proxies. And so, I mean, look, I think that it's possible that Iran, they all talk about how Iran is in disarray and their leadership is hated. It's possible maybe that within the coming weeks, there could be a forced negotiation between the U.S. and Iran, and we could get an even better deal in terms of absolutely zero enrichment, because that's what Trump originally wanted. So maybe that's what could be swung as a win. The problem is the haziness of this and how we really don't know what's happening next. We just have to let it play out, honestly. But I mean, with Trump's statement, it seems like Trump really, whether or not they lied originally and this was always the plan, because it came out that Trump and Netanyahu were at odds, and then it gets reported that no, that was just a bluff. I don't know if you guys saw that. They were like, no, it's a bluff. That's really not true. We wanted to lull Iran into a state of putting their guard down. And then these strikes were extremely successful for Israel. There's no doubt about it. The question is whether or not Americans want to see the U.S. get offensively involved, and the answer is no. Yeah, well, Kirk is taking the right-wing approach, but he's being more subdued about it in terms of he's saying, well, we should support Israel, but we don't want to be involved. Yeah, but Iran has been super close to nuclear weapons since the 90s, apparently. Yeah, but you understand they do measure these things. Like there's an independent atomic council that measures it, and if they're at 60%, I mean that is actually close. So I don't know. You could say, well, that's Israel fear mongering, saying they're very close just so they can weaken them. They can justifiably weaken them because they say, well, it's a threat to our existence that they're at 60% enrichment. But I believe that independently they actually are at 60% enrichment, which is close. Now you could say, well, they've been saying that for a while. I understand, but they can just enrich to 90% within weeks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Israel would destroy all of their nuclear facilities. They're all underground and they're under caves. William, I appreciate the dollar. Thank you. Problem is, with opportunistic groups like BLM and Antifa, they're going to infiltrate the No Kings protests and cause trouble. Hope they stay peaceful. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing is the huge protest tomorrow. I saw a tweet that was really like, oh, it's going to go down tomorrow. Again, it's like whenever they do this thing to where they sensationalize protests that happen, it feels like they're always relatively subdued. And I mean, you can have 1,000 protests. I mean, that's what it is. It's like 1,000 protests. They probably have like 10 different protests in your state. In some states, there's probably like 50 different. But most of these protests are going to be very small. So my thought is, if you really want to make an impact, why wouldn't you just have like a massive cohort of people to actually, if you have all these protests and there's 50 people at these events, they're not going to do anything. So that's why it's like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the military parade and Trump. I saw it was supposed to be cloudy in DC tomorrow, but I don't think it's supposed to rain. Because I saw Tim Waltz was like, oh, I hope it rains tomorrow. So I checked and it was like a 20% chance of rain tomorrow. And there's going to be protesting. To what degree and how does that look in terms of Trump having all of this military equipment in DC? And it's going to be a legitimate parade. But then the protests are happening on the side. I don't know what it looks like exactly, but that's going to be happening tomorrow. And people have been talking about it really the past 5 or 6 days, ever since those LA riots, which I think were calmed down. I'm going to have to look into that, but I think they were calmed down significantly just by the passage of time. I mean, it's like over days people lose interest, and the National Guard coming in and securing things. But people say, well, Trump should, there was a ruling that Trump didn't have. There was originally a ruling that Trump was justified in the usage of the National Guard. Then another ruling that said no. Then it was appealed, and then they said yes, Trump has authority to use the National Guard. I mean, these court rulings are just, they're insane. You can't do anything without a ruling happening. And it's like, even when you get through one of the rulings and they rule that you're justified, then there's another one. You can't escape it. It's not winnable. They should use Kamala's rally strategy. With her rallies, just bust people into one place. It'll look huge. Yeah, especially if if you've got like 40 different rallies happening all in New York City, isn't that kind of dumb? Why not just have two massive ones or one massive one? It would make more of an impact rather than all these dinky ones. But I mean, I think the bigger rallies make way more of an impact than like all the different small ones surrounding. I mean, they've got rallies like against Trump in Wyoming. Seriously, what a waste of time. But I mean, obviously there's a funding apparatus to all of this. You don't just see 1,000 different protests happening all on the same day. And Iran struck a compound Israel's equivalent to the U.S. Pentagon. Oh, Iran is going hard with these strikes. We'll have to see. I mean, I don't think Trump has made any public statements. If something happens, you guys get. Look at this USAID. Official and 3 company executives plead guilty in fraud bribery scheme involving 14 contracts worth $500 million. Broderick Watson took bribes. This USAID. This was just terrible. Trump tells ABC Israeli attack on Iran has been excellent. There's more to come, a lot more. This is Trump earlier this morning. It's not as bad as people thought. It's actually not that bad considering. Well, I had heard that the attacks were a little bit subdued and in terms of the response, but now they're starting to report some other stuff's trickling out about citizen areas being hit and videos of their missiles hitting cities. Doge W, what, the USAID? Yeah, that was good. Shutting that down. How about that? You can't even shut that down without massive outcry. They cried about that for a week. USAID, that was our soft power. Who are we influencing? Zimbabwe? Yeah, but we're not getting any resources or anything like that. Wow. 2025 Virginia governor's race. Remember Glenn Youngkin won? Well, he can't run again. The Republican is down by 3 points. That's competitive. That's a poll. ICE arrests illegal alien brother of an activist who runs an organization that doxes ICE agents. What is wrong with these people? Ryan, I appreciate that. Did you hear Trump said he isn't going to deport illegals on farms? Deport all illegals or Republicans will lose majority of their voters. Well, no, I agree with you. I think that was a bad statement from Trump. It kind of got buried because of the strikes yesterday. They put out a post to try and cover it up and say, no, the deportations are happening. We're committed to it. So we'll see. But he was definitely getting a lot of heat from big agriculture that they obviously pay those illegals very slim, and they don't want to have to pay American citizens more to work on those farms and I guess work at hotels as well. So that's just a liberal argument what Trump is using now. I mean, if you're talking about like 300 or 400 people, that's whatever. But they're not going to be able to deport all the illegals under Trump's term. It's not possible. There's no way you can deport 17 to 22 million illegals in 4 years. We don't have the funding apparatus for that. We don't have the infrastructure buildup to be able to do that. So is Trump giving up on deportations? No, I mean, he's not giving up on deportations. That was just a statement he made about a select number of people that he was getting a lot of criticism from the farmers because, again, you know, these illegals that they hire, you can hire them for $8, $7 an hour, nothing, because they're illegal and they're just happy to have a job. And so they don't want to have to pay an American citizen $20 an hour. But I mean, that's the liberal argument that Trump can't really take that. I mean, it's a bad statement from Trump. But let's be honest, how much is it really going to affect things in terms of the deportations? They're not going to stop doing the deportations. Although I did see some arrests at farms, and I don't know if they're going to stop doing that. William, thank you, man. Kanye West was at the Diddy Files. Yeah, I saw that. I saw him walking in there. Where's that, in New York City or Chicago? One of the two. That. I'm a young African American woman. We didn't do anything wrong. I don't even know these people. It's like, I'm black. I should never be arrested.
All right, we're just after 1 o'clock here in Tiberias, and we're hearing air raid sirens sounding. I'm on the 6th floor of my hotel. Out here is the Sea of Galilee.
Scott Jennings is in Israel right now.
And I guess a third barrage of missiles is incoming from Iran. So we're on red alert here in Tiberias. I'm hearing booming in the distance. I'm hearing flashing in the sky. Oh, above, overhead, here we go.
Where's the Golden Dome?
It looks like we have missile intercepts going on right above our head here in Tiberias.
The Iron Dome?
I'm following this piece to the ground here. It hit just over the top of that hill back behind me.
BB fled. I thought he went to Greece. At least his
distance
plane
back
was
here.
tracked to Greece. That's, I don't know what he's recording that on. It just feels like that's such good quality. I don't know. And I guess maybe because it loaded fully on my computer. Like, my computer doesn't load videos fully. I was very, this is very nice quality. I don't know. Ryan, I appreciate it. Ain't machinery going to be taking crap jobs? Yeah, no, it's going to be all automated at a certain point. I don't know when, though. I guess they can't do it right now. Or, I mean, you think if those, it probably costs a lot of money to automate farms. So I don't know how that works in terms of who's going to be paying for that. But, I mean, that's going to be coming, we would imagine. I don't know how far along they are in terms of that. There's a transitional period when you're talking about bringing in the machine learning into doing that. It doesn't just happen overnight, but I know they've been talking about doing that as a supplement with these illegals being deported. But I mean, it really is like a liberal argument. Oh man, who's gonna be going out in the fields and doing all the work if the illegals get deported? I mean, American citizens or machines? Us as a country should be able to solve that problem without needing illegal labor. I mean, and then Trump's like trying to justify it, saying, well, if they're here a certain number of years and they don't commit any other crimes other than entering the country illegally, they have a track record. But it's a problem because, you know, it undercuts American labor, the labor force. even though you could say we have a weak labor force because nobody wants to work and do any of those jobs. But, the illegals, the wages, they can undercut the citizens, and it makes it worse. It makes it more uncompetitive. You're deeply skeptical that Russia is just not going to do anything after how much Iran helped them in Ukraine. Hope for the best. Love from Switzerland. Oh, that currency is from Switzerland. No, I agree. That's what I was wondering with Russia. But you see, Putin had a phone call with Netanyahu. So I don't know if Russia's going to be helping. But yeah, you would think, imagine Russia gets involved with Iran and helps them. I mean, that just spreads even more. And they're already fighting in Ukraine. And, the West is already alienated against Russia, of course, because of their invasion of Ukraine. You need a bunker ASAP. Yeah, well, that's crazy. He was in Israel with that happening. Children's Hospital Los Angeles closing its center for transgender youth. Why was it open in the first place? I want to congratulate Israel on its mostly peaceful bombing of Iran. Spoken like a perfect neocon. Mostly peaceful bombing. First known detention of a civilian by the U.S. Marines in L.A. County. Love the show. Have Israel fatigue. America first. I appreciate the donation, Adam. Companies complaining about raids should have their capital forfeited and nationalized. They're admitting to committing crimes. Oh, absolutely. A lot of the construction people are real angry about a lot of it because they have a ton. I mean, you go to a job site, it's all. And I can understand people saying, well, nobody in this country wants to do those jobs. It's very rare to find people that go into that type of labor. Like carpenters. There's a lot less carpenters nowadays than there were 20 years ago, but I agree with you 100%. There has to be other ways to solve this. You would think that would be more of an attractive thing, especially now with the trades. Everyone talks about the trades with how useless a lot of these degrees are for young men. And so you're going to see more and more of them probably going into trades and trade school and straight out of high school going to, because think about it, you go straight out of high school. The problem with these labor jobs is just, they wear on people. So you're going to have more potential health issues later in life. But, you're talking about going to college 19 to 22. You could, maybe not make as much, but you could have a profession started at the age of 19. It's more attractive for a lot of these kids because on top of that, if your parents don't pay for it, if you don't have some type of scholarship, that's more of a cost as well. Are we the lamest empire in history? Well, it's just different nowadays in terms of like empires because it's not even classified as that. I mean, I guess compared to history, but it's hard to really like an empire because there's really no land grabbing, and if there are people trying to do it, it's like immediately. It's just a different time in history. It's the nuclear time where you can't really do anything because of the fear of nukes, which is used, I guess, more positively as a deterrent to try and stop war, but I think we could be a great empire if we take Greenland. We need a conquest. An easy conquest. Trump should just take Greenland while everyone's distracted. We can eventually develop machine to pick fruit and vegetables for US, maybe AI robots. Yeah, no, that's what they're talking about with the farms. Well, the farms are going to do all of the maintaining of the crops, and the machines are going to do all of that, apparently. Trump has been more quieter on this Iran situation than you thought. Yeah, I still don't think he's made an actual, like, he's taking no questions from anyone still. I don't know what his schedule looks like tonight, if he's going to be doing a public appearance or not. Only LARPers care about the borders, though. 21st century empires are just influence spheres. Yeah. Yeah, because there's smaller countries that have more influence. The borders are more just a dominance factor. It's just what you're brought up on. When I used to see the maps of just empires and how the world changed, and just it's more about land. But nowadays there's more influence involved than just ownership of land. The Iron Dome needs to be replenished if it's used. I know that's what they've been talking about. I'm guessing that's where the U.S. comes in. You were dooming way more about Trump yesterday. Today doesn't feel as bad, especially if Iran isn't able to do any crazy escalation. Maybe it's cope. Well, I don't. I mean, we have to wait and see what the extent of these attacks are. I mean, Israel could just say they're really bad anyways to try and garner sympathy and U.S. support, and I mean, it just depends. But we've seen Iran really not respond previously when to attacks. Although these are different attacks, to be fair, because they targeted multiple different areas, and they targeted some of the top nuclear scientists, two of the top nuclear scientists, killing them, and then a few other their top government officials. But I mean, I guess if you're looking at this from an optimistic angle, you say, well, maybe we can gain significant leverage over Iran through this show of force by Israel. We're not even the ones doing it. The problem is we're just lumped in with Israel no matter what, because we fund them to a degree. Feels like Trump is falling into the Zionist trap. Well, I want to see what happens with this situation over the next few weeks. I don't think it's, that report about Trump and Netanyahu was a tough one. I don't know if that's true or not. The Axios report, that was kind of like the big one that I saw, where it was like Trump and Netanyahu set up Iran, and they were behind the scenes planning these attacks together, coordinating them. And so they wanted to seem like, well, Trump didn't want to do strikes against Iran, and he wanted to do this nuclear deal, but all along he wanted the escalation from Israel to strike Iran. So I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't know how long that would have been permeating. Maybe just a week, maybe 2 weeks. Do you have a college degree? If so, in what? I'm just curious. Also, you're very handsome. And the dude says, "Are you a Fed?" No, I get compliments like that a lot. I get compliments like that a lot. No, I'm kidding. I don't. No, I appreciate that compliment. No, I don't have a degree. I didn't go to college. You want to ask if you're willing to run it back to me with Black Ops 2 Zombies? You need players, but I know if you answer yes, you'll be getting bombshelled with people asking. No, the thing is I only play Black Ops 1. I only play Black Ops 1 Zombies. I don't think I have Black Ops 2, honestly. I love Black Ops 1. It's been a whole year since Butler. Butler was July 13th, not June. So it's 11 months. Yeah, Butler was July. Honeypot. People are in disbelief. What's your favorite NFL team? The Browns. Browns are my favorite team. BO2 Zombies is the GOAT. Yeah, I love BO1. I like BO1 more. I don't know why. Who wants to go to college just to turn into a liberal? I mean, I understand the function of college if you want a serious, high paying job, or there's certainly you're a lawyer, you need schooling, you're a doc. I mean, but it's the same thing everyone says. I'm not saying anything different. Everyone I listen to has the same exact take on college at this point. It's like, well, if you're going into a specific field that is going to pay you a lot of money and eventually you're going to be able to pay it off easily and be set, then yeah, it makes sense 100%. But you'll get a lot of people go into fields. There's nowadays, a lot of the times they're just like, well, because everyone has a degree, the hiring process is very hard for companies because it's not really remarkable if you have a degree. Kino der Toten is the GOAT map. I'll play any of the maps, honestly. Yeah, I'll play Kino. But normally I have all the maps too. All the map packs. I had to rebuy them. I previously had them when I was way younger, then I had to rebuy them like a few years ago. Yeah, this was weird.
If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, maybe it's a duck. If it walks like
Browns, Eagles. Well, the Eagles are really good. They should have banned the tush push though. Remember I think you argued with me on that, man. Oh, my friend from Iran. Yes, I was wondering about you. You know, I saw you comment that one thing under the last live stream. So I'm glad you're doing all right, man. Yeah, what a mess. It's terrible. It's unfortunate. I didn't want it to happen. I did not want it to happen, what Israel did. Honestly, I didn't. I thought there would be a nuclear deal. Your legacy could have gone to Princeton. Instead, you went to trade school, became a carpenter, started your own business. But well, yeah. There's a lot of stories like that nowadays in terms of people turning it down. Wasn't the Axios the one who also put out Trump and BB Fallout? Well, the main. I don't know if Axios was on that. They might have been, because I don't know. There were multiple stories about Trump and his thing. I know New York Times had the main Trump story on him Xing the whole idea of joint strikes against the nuclear facilities back in, I want to say, March. Might have been early April. Juan, what's up, man? Thunder Gun is the GOAT wonder weapon. Yeah, no, the Thunder Guns. I like the Winter Sow. Now, the Winter Sow is terrible. Axios 100% trash. I know. The thing is with Axios, I don't really believe that story. I mean, hopefully it's not true.
Pushing it against me? You're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get arrested. Let go.
Don't push it against me.
Don't push that against me.
Push it against me.
You're gonna get arrested. That's a warning. Okay? The next time you push that against me, that's assault.
You use your fucking brain, okay?
Okay?
Oh, did it hurt you?
Grab people and that's assault. They're all weapons. Next time you push it against him, you're gonna get arrested. All right. All right. All right.
Military parade on Saturday, celebration of 250th year founding of the United States. Yeah, it's also Trump's birthday, so it's a combination. I wonder if there's Waltz talking about it in here.
Scott Bessent said we've had substantial GDP growth, and it is half of what it was last year. He said, oh, the jobs numbers, a third of last year.
Yeah, they're not printing as much money, bitch.
We know that the bill is going to add massively to the deficit. He tried to distract, and he said, oh, that's from left-leaning institutions. That's from the CBO. It's also the Tax Foundation. Tax Foundation, right-leaning. Cato, right-leaning. Stop it. Scott Bessent said we've...
Yeah, but any of this economic stuff it's all hearsay. Whether or not you think it's going to add to the debt or not, it depends on your projected or actual growth of the economy. The administration disputes the number that they've given, the projection. This is for the chat. Has the original Easter egg kicked anyone else's ass? What, the one on transit? I mean, you got to be specific on which map you're talking about. The Origins? Yeah, I don't know. The Origins is a really good map.
What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
What is a woman?
That's the summary of that party. Oh, man. $42,000 bonuses for every ICE agent is insane. Is that serious? Yeah, this is the Tucker tweet if you want to see it. The real divide isn't between people who support Israel and people who support Iran or the Palestinians. The real divide is between those who casually encourage violence and those who seek to prevent it, between warmongers and peacemakers. Yeah, I mean, let's hope that somehow there's some type of quick ceasefire, but it seems unlikely. But who knows? I mean, Trump. It seems like Trump is still pushing for some type of diplomacy. Is that a White Claw you're sipping? No, it's not, man. I got these like really dim. I got these smaller straws. You know, I drink orange juice in the morning. I'm trying to wake up earlier. I drink orange juice, and so you need like smaller straws to be able to drink the orange juice, because otherwise it's you can't drink all of it at once. So I got these smaller straws. Yeah, I didn't know it used predictive text and super chats. Peter, I appreciate it, man. Men's Health Month. Isn't that what this is right now? Is Israel and Iran technically at war? I mean, it's a vague, like, was Pakistan and India at war? I mean, you can't really call it war until there's a certain, there's a certain, I think Iran declared a war on Israel, or they were going to. I saw that. I mean, it's one of those things to where it's like the early stages. If there's, hopefully there'll be a quick ceasefire. I don't know, but it's an optimistic viewpoint for sure. You feel like the country that lies about having nukes feels like it has to bully a country. I know, it is really hypocritical. But I mean, we could have even done a deal to where they wouldn't have had any. That's the thing, a nuclear deal. Could you imagine if Kamala was president, then you'd be nervous? Yeah, I mean, with the Democrats, it's a different story. It feels like they're kind of a blob. Like even if Kamala was the head figure, it's like she's not making any decisions. Do we really think she's like with Trump? We know there's decisions. I mean, obviously you have to delegate things as the president, but we know Trump has a major say. With the Democrats, whether it's Biden or Harris, it just to me it doesn't feel authentic, like they're actually leading anything. Chris Christie. Chris Christie right here. Chris Christie. What's your prediction on how this plays out between Israel and Iran? Well, I think Israel and Trump still want different things. I think Trump is pushing for peace. Hopefully Trump wins out. I mean, it depends. This retaliation by Iran is going to potentially allow Israel to bring the U.S. into it. The hope is that I would hope that Iran gets weakened to the point to where they're forced to negotiate, and there's some type of immediate ceasefire between Israel and Iran, and the U.S. can negotiate a really good nuclear deal with zero enrichment. I think that would be the hope on how I would look at it. In terms of the actual prediction, it's probably multiple weeks at least. I mean, more prolonged strikes back and forth. I mean, apparently they're saying it's hard to know because of the fog of war, but a U.S. embassy was hit, so that could justify action. But I mean, I feel like Trump just doesn't have the support of the citizens to do this. I get there was a Rasmussen poll or whatever, but I don't think so. And you can say, well, it's a bubble on X. No, there can't be anyone like under the age of 50 that really supports more significant involvement in the Middle East. So I think Trump has to know that, it's not all that popular to have this involvement. Tucker calling out Hannity. Well, it's just the Fox News wing. I mean, it's a boomer wing. They support Israel unconditionally. Got to get citizenship from another country so I can flee in case a draft happens. Love the U.S., but I will not die for Israel. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna be drafted. People have been telling me I'm gonna get drafted, so it's not good. Obviously, hopefully that doesn't happen. Imagine I get drafted. Can I film? They're not gonna let me film anything. Any nuclear deal with Iran we know never works. They keep moving forward. In what sense? I mean, did they really develop any nuclear bomb under the first nuclear deal? They didn't. Now you can say, well, maybe the thing is this newer nuclear deal was supposed to have significantly more oversight. But I think diplomacy is way more ideal for this administration than any type of Middle Eastern war. I mean, this is Israel who lies about having nukes, saying that another country can't have nukes that may or may not have them right now. Which I don't even think they do, depending if you believe 60%. If they're 60% enrichment, then technically they don't have nukes. Now, they're very close. But, I mean, and I do believe the 60% number. If you get drafted, will you close down your channel? Why would I close down my channel? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to close down my channel. What's the point of closing it down? Make an AI version of yourself and let it cook while you fight in the war. Didn't Quabblecum try and do that, or whatever the hell that dude's name is? I think I butchered his name, but I don't know if anyone remembers that dude. He tried to make an AI version of himself, and it got like he was like hated on by everyone. It's just terrible. I mean, Quabblecub. Sam in Texas, what's up, man? Is World War III getting started? I don't think so. You apologize, by the way. I know this is a political channel. You just Yeah, you're just messing around. That's all right, man. I understand. You're not getting drafted. Being an old bag of shit like yourself has its perks. Yeah, well, to be drafted, I think it's like 18 through 25, but then it's also, they said anyone below the age of 38 or something. I don't know what it is exactly. Why must you die on the Trump is a peace president hill? So many doomers in your chat too. Yeah, my chat's a little bit different, man. It's not gonna with my chat, it's not gonna be an immediate, Trump love session. That's just what it is with my chat. But well, when it comes to Trump, I think strength has to be used in certain circumstances. But something like this, after the thing is Trump ran to avoid situations like this for the most part. Now, I understand if something happens that's extremely unique, it requires potential strength. But with something like this, I don't see how this is good for the administration. Hopefully it ends quickly. They could still spin it if there's a ceasefire and there's not a drawn out war to where the U.S. is constantly sending Israel money. They just criticized, the Republicans did, the Democrats for doing the same thing with Ukraine, constantly sending them money, saying they should stay out of it. So this is like, it's just the opposite. A draft would be very difficult considering most of America hates itself, but they may force draft the illegals. That's what Putin did. The illegal immigrants in the country. Trump ran for peace and flipped. Well, I do think it's a little more complicated than that. You can't always 1000% be. Different situations call for different political action. You can't just say, well, everything has to be peace. If a certain circumstance happens to where you need to do, you have to be able to pivot a little bit on topics. But this is a situation to where, you could say, well, it was Israel's doing and they were the aggressor and the United States they were the ones trying to negotiate some type of nuclear deal. But according to what I know about the nuclear deal, I think they could have gotten a nuclear deal done that would have been pretty fair. And, Trump they stuck out for the zero enrichment, and Iran didn't want it. And now we're getting the Axios report. I don't know if the Axios report is true or not. I think it's probably false. Unless it was like the last few days. But even in the last few days, Trump was already kind of hinting that Israel was going to do something. It wasn't a surprise when they decided to pull all of their diplomats out of targeted areas that Iran could hit, that something potentially was going to happen. Either that or it was pressure on Iran just to do the deal in general, because it's like, we're readying, which is what I hoped it was, but obviously it wasn't. It was actual strikes. As long as he doesn't give any illegal amnesty and the Iran stuff gets resolved, or is at least de-escalated for now, you're still with Trump. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I don't think he'd give amnesty. I think it's extended visas. That's what I would imagine it is. But maybe, you know what they do. Like, they do a pathway to citizenship. So I don't know if that's probably what it is with extended visas. But how many people would it really affect? Like, are you talking about 500 workers totally? I don't know. Or is it like thousands and thousands? You have family in Tel Aviv. Hope they're safe. Well, there were strikes I saw in Tel Aviv. I saw a few. This is the response. They've got a shelter in place in Israel. It's hard to keep track of Trump's wins and losses. What are some of the major ones? The border, immigration, economy, Ukraine, Israel, India, Pakistan, Palantir, U.S. Well, Palantir would not be a victory for Trump. But I mean, it's like that's the AI stuff, and nobody really knows about that. But I think the border, they'll criticize Trump and say there's not enough deportations, but I think in general the border's a win for sure. The immigration, you could say the lack of deportation is the problem. The economy is to be determined. You can't judge it 4 months in. I mean, they'll say the lack of GDP growth, but, you know, again, we're talking about like a 4-year stretch to where sometimes you have to move different levers to bring the interest rates down. And, you know, I've been hearing people keep telling me they're not going to cut the interest rates at all. The thing is with Powell, and this is something that is probably going to happen, Trump is going to remove Powell. It's a long time coming, and technically, like, the legality of Trump removing Powell for dissent, it's hazy, but I believe Trump could pretty much force Powell down. Now, Powell is already due to leave in 2026, but I think it's probably going to happen earlier, because I've been hearing it's like, I mean, Trump's about had it, and they're having another meeting next week, and you know Powell's not going to lower it at all, and he's gonna act like the main character, and you know, with Powell, it's always just pulling teeth with him, and they've done so much to try and get these rates down, and he just won't do it. And even this deal with China, I mean, we'll see if it comes through, but the writing is kind of on the wall. My guess is Trump has pretty much lost any type of patience with Powell. So for the economy, I mean, it's just in flux. We really can't tell if. I mean, I think the economy is doing extremely well because I know the indicators and stuff, and you look at some of this stuff now. There's going to be a little bit of an effect of this war. To what degree, I don't know, in terms of oil, depending on what Iran decides to do. If they escalate it significantly, if they close off their Strait of Hormuz, it becomes a bigger problem. And then there would be direct U.S. involvement if they closed off that strait, by the way, which people keep saying is going to happen. But I don't know. I mean, that's like the death blow. No offense, but Gallup poll finds 83% GOP base likes Israel. You really think it's an X bubble? Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, but I mean, even if it's 83%, there's no way that the vast majority of people in general, if you take Republicans and Democrats, agree on an extended, prolonged Middle Eastern war. There's just no way. It wouldn't get support. I mean, if this was a quick thing to where Israel, you know, ends up Trump gets a better nuclear deal because of these strikes that Israel facilitate. I mean, maybe that would be fine if it's something quick. I mean, if it's something quick, I don't think it really has an effect, honestly. But the Fed is unconstitutional, price fixing. Yeah, but how do you balance it then? I mean, to a degree, you do have to, but you can't have someone rogue in there who constantly lowers. I mean, because think about what the Fed did in 2022. When you fuck up interest rates, it is a big problem. I mean, they kept the interest rates down for too long, and they caused crazy inflation that we never should have seen. I mean, when you've got the global reserve currency, you shouldn't be at 9% inflation. I don't care if there's a pandemic or whatever. It's crazy. That's from keeping the rates down too long, because the Fed is in bed with the Democrats, and they kept the rates down, and they supercharged. I mean, that's why we had ridiculous GDP growth recovery. But it was like, well, now it's you have to raise the rates faster so we don't have this catastrophic inflation problem. Do you think the Israel-India conflict may spark up the India-Pakistan? Imagine that. Imagine that becomes hot again. See, that becomes an issue in terms of a global situation. but hopefully not. I mean, because that died down really quickly. It was about a week of strikes, and they were able to have a ceasefire. I mean, I'm hoping for a similar thing with this, but it does seem like a much more extensive attack from Israel onto Iran. So you know, and there's going to be a bigger response from Iran. Does the U.S. get involved directly? I think it depends the response of Iran in terms of our aggressiveness. We've got a left extremist in here. We officially have all the people on the political spectrum in this chat. Yeah, no, there is a lot of different people here. You've got people pro-Israel, anti-Israel. It's an interesting chat. It's an interesting mix of people. Yeah, if the draft starts, I'm actually I'll just be a journalist. I'm a student journalist, so I'm exempt. No, but in all seriousness, obviously, there's, you know, you never know what's going to happen with the world, but this is like a regional thing, and Trump, you know, if there was any type of draft, something has catastrophically gone wrong. I mean, that's just what it is. So we'll see what happens with this. Almost 300K. Yeah, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. 300K, that's a big number. I might live stream myself hitting 300K. That would be good. Why is no one touting the huge increase in federal revenue from the tariffs to date? Is that not a positive? No. That's absolutely a positive. I've done videos on that. It's 23 billion per month, and we haven't had any inflation. So it's really good. I mean, yeah, these are the strikes. I mean, that's Iranian hypersonic missile in Tel Aviv. The Whale. Sean, what's up? The Whale enters $52. The Whale. Do a poll if you're a woman or a man. I'm not doing that again. I don't know why people want me to do polls like that. It's like 99 to 1%. War is hell. War is hell. Show Steve Bannon clips. What did he say about it? U.S. is actively helping Israel missile defense. I know. Yeah, that's been reported. So, and it was reported yesterday as well. So we are helping already. I mean, we knew it was that there was going to be coordination. You're a broke college student. You want to be the next whale? You should save your money, man, especially your college student. Show the fireworks streamer. What is it, just fireworks? Fireworks hand? Man, look at that. That's like an HD image. Maybe not. See, the thing is, this is just not going to search properly. Bro, look at this. This is from 2019. I don't know what this is, honestly.
Oh my god! Fireworks! Oh my god! Oh my god! I just saw two things shoot through the sky there. I just saw two things. There's a plane there. Did you hear that? There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Oh my god. 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 Fireworks. Oh my god.
I mean, she's got to know.
There's more over there. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, we know why she's a streamer.
Oh my god.
I mean, I guess I'm a streamer too, but...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This has got to be like a bit.
Oh my god. I'm on the wrong side. Look. Look.
Yeah, that's typical. Don't search up Colorado. Dude, you remember that? That's the thing is, when I search something up on here, it's like, let me just pray. Let me pray that there's nothing because it's really bad. Even go to my For You pages. Like, that's why I just go to these news people. Because it's like, you want to stay safe on this. I don't know what it is. China has the moral authority. Well, he knows a lot about China. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Is this why men live longer? Well, I mean, what is the actual statistics? Men live to like 76, women live to 79 or something. $225 and dropping. Yeah, sometimes I tweet that out and people go, sometimes I tweet out, I've done this a few times, is like a troll. I'm like 225 and dropping, and then people are like, I didn't know you weighed that much. Because they think it's my weight. No, I weigh like 155, but because they don't understand it's about the walls talking about Tesla stock. You think you're safe until the news accounts gets hacked and filled with corn during your stream? Yeah, well, I mean, I had it happen I had it happen 2 different times to where I searched something and something bad came up, and that's just from a normal search. And these were normal searches. One of them was Colorado. The other one, I don't even know what it is, but it's like these accounts that show up. But even it's just this search engine, the algorithm on my desktop is just terrible. Even when I, on my For You page. On my For You page just shows a bunch of sports on here. Which I really don't interact with much. Are most states arming their National Guard concerning these Saturday protests? No, I don't think so. I don't think they're expecting it to be that bad. I mean, there's definitely going to be bigger demonstrations in Chicago. LA is going to be probably, just because of what's happened there previously. Anywhere where there's heavy liberal population density, New York City, Washington, D.C. What the hell? Caitlyn Jenner having a glass of wine in a bomb shelter in Tel Aviv? Just random.
Oh my God. Opa. Fiלות. אולי לא קרה כלום.
This is a bad look for a president who... Is this a bad look for a president who partially got elected on no new wars? Well, I mean, it depends how this evolves. It all depends. If it's prolonged, it's going to be a bad look, yes. This could be salvaged, though, depending on if there's a quick ceasefire. But it depends how prolonged it is, I think. Minnesota's pension fund actually holds 1 million shares of Tesla. Yeah, he like apologized for that, I think. I mean, he was like, it's just a joke. All right, I'm gonna take a piss. Here, you can listen to this analysis.
Overwhelmingly, Americans stand with Israel. The question is, do they support America getting offensively involved in this war? And I can say definitively, especially with younger Trump supporters, the answer is no. They want to have Israel fight Israel's war, to stand with Israel, intelligence sharing, defensive measures, totally defensible, and I think is legitimate because over 100,000 Americans, as Trey said, are in Israel. And America and Jordan have a long history of having defensive measures to protect civilians. But the question will be in the coming days and weeks, will there be clamoring for an offensive American strategy against Iran? Will some people say, hey, we can finally wipe them out. We have them on the ropes. I would introduce a little bit of caution towards that, especially from a younger generational perspective. One of the main reasons we were able to get young people to vote for President Trump so overwhelmingly this last election was a reminder that President Trump is the peace president, that President Trump is able to broker the impossible peace deals. Look what he did the other day between India and Pakistan. Look at what he did in his first term. And so I do believe that President Trump is uniquely positioned here to stand with our allies, to stand on the side of civilization, but also understand that his voters, they want to return to America first, to stand with what is right and just in the world, but we do not want a potential endless quagmire in the Middle East. And I'm confident President Trump will make sure that does not happen.
Okay, there's a lot more to dig into right there. Panel, I hope you'll hang with me for just a little bit longer because we have an... All
right, well, that was a Charlie Kirk thing. I just had a quick edit run and do something. It's like the movie Ted. Did you mean Black Cox? Yeah, Ted was a funny movie. They don't even make decent. I mean, that would be classified as like a decent comedy. Ted. It was a decent. They don't even make movies like that anymore, to where they're decent. No way we need to get involved in this. I mean, if Charlie Kirk is coming out and saying that we don't want to get involved, you know it's bad. Even Charlie Kirk even knows this is a bad look for the administration if they get significantly involved. But it depends. Does this hopefully end quickly and there's some type of, resolution? Or is this drawn out? Iron Dome didn't stop that. Well, it does. I don't think it's able to stop a lot of the hypersonic stuff. But it shut down a lot of their first 100 missiles, I heard. Not a bad look for Trump at all. He's not responsible for Israel. As long as U.S. doesn't deploy troops into the Middle East, then he's kept his promise. Yeah, I mean, it becomes a weird... it's like a gray line. Because technically, it seems like there was some support between Trump and Netanyahu on these these strikes. But I hear what you're saying about, you know, deployment, and technically there's still no U.S. involvement, and they did distance themselves last night. But then Trump made a statement today to where he's saying we're ready to fund this, and maybe it's a threat to Iran to come to the negotiating table. I hope that's what it is. It's trying to pressure them, I guess. F-35 down, if this is true, oh no. Yeah, I mean, there was reports of an embassy getting hit, a U.S. embassy. You're going to the parade and festival tomorrow? In D.C., you're going to the main one? So I wonder how the setup is in terms of, like, people that are able to go to that. I wonder how they'll set that up. When is the parade at? What time? Like 1 o'clock? Eric has riot clips. I'm sorry, that was an earful. That was an earful. Did I ask for likes early in the stream? There are way more likes than yesterday. I don't think the likes have been working. I don't know what it is. I don't know how. I put it in the chat. I said, please like this. But there were only like 8 people waiting, so I don't know.
Back up. Just go to the other side of the line. Go to the other side of the line.
Turn them off. Turn them off. They're too bright.
Get up and go.
It's like a bunch of rabid wild dogs. Just, you don't even know what they're saying. When one of these guys arrests one of them, they should just say, as they're handcuffing them, here's the attention you ordered, and just put the handcuffs on. Somebody asked for an update on the National Guard in LA. Does Trump have to remove them? Does Trump have to remove them, or did he win in the courts? No, he won in the courts. He won in the courts for the time being. There was an appeal.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Hey! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
The thing is this is happening in New Jersey. And so, I mean, obviously it's not you could say it's out of control, but like, you know, this is going to be, I don't know if it's going to happen everywhere tomorrow, but there's going to be bigger protests tomorrow. You just have to wonder.
Back up. Y'all don't gotta do that shit.
Look at all the masks. N95.
Now, who is the voice in the world that can negotiate some type of agreement in this? Who holds the moral authority? who holds the ability to do that, because we are not seen as a neutral actor. And we maybe never were. I don't want to tell anybody that. I think there's a lot of people that say you always leaned one way in this. But I think there was at least an attempt to be somewhat of the arbitrator in this. We saw President Carter do it with Begin and Sadat. We've had certain wins along the way that were actually mutually beneficial both ways. Now I ask who that is. And I mean, consistently over and over again, we're going to have to face the reality, it might be the Chinese. Now, who is the voice in the world that can negotiate some type of
Clips are the same every day. Who cares, man? These add no value to the actual issue. Yeah, I mean, but it is kind of funny. What is going to happen tomorrow? Isn't there a massive riot happening? Yeah, there's riots all over the country. It's an organized, they say organized protest against Trump. And then the Trump military parade as well. First time tuning into the stream, and it's pretty nice. I appreciate that. Do you support lethal force against people who throw Molotov cocktails, concrete fireworks, etc. at riots? Well, the problem is, they're waiting for a situation to where one of these idiots gets shot, and then that becomes their rallying cry, and then they burn down a bunch of cities. So it's hard because you don't want escalation, but you also want the National Guard to be able to defend themselves and properly. I mean, the people need to be caught. That's the main thing, and they need to be prosecuted for doing acts like that. But it's like they're waiting for an event, a catalyst, if you will. And then they're going to burn down a bunch of, and then it just becomes insane. I mean, there has to be a serious, obviously something like the BLM stuff can never happen again. But it's tough because it's like, a lot of those states, they're operated through the liberal governors if it's a liberal state. I mean, I guess you could have the National Guard bring in Marines, but DG Seattle, CHOP 2.0, incoming tomorrow, protest. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of protests in Seattle and Portland, the lib hub out west there. Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, Eugene, Oregon. Although that's like a college town. You never go to downtown Seattle. It's crazy. I remember Alex Jones in downtown Seattle back in like 2016. Remember when he ran across the street with that one dude? That was hilarious. I don't even know why he was there. That was when he still had InfoWars on YouTube. Man, that's been a long time. His channel got banned off of YouTube in like 2018. Did Iran retaliate? Yeah, they're in the process of retaliating. We're waiting to see how much damage was actually done. There were some missiles that penetrated through the Iron Dome and reached Tel Aviv and other places. It's being reported. The U.S. is helping shoot down a lot of these missiles, apparently. Can't forget that half or almost half of voters in the entire country are liberals. That's why Trump can't fold regardless of protest size. Oh, no, absolutely. That's why it was disappointing with the farmer quote. But I think Trump wants the deportations to happen. It's just a little bit complicated in terms of actually doing it. I keep hearing these people compare Trump to Obama. When they compare Trump to Obama, and it's mainly conservatives who do this, because liberals, they don't technically like the deportation, so they're not going to say, oh, Obama actually deported more. But there'll be people that say, well, Trump is deporting no one, Obama deported more. And it's like, well, no, the way that they counted Obama's deportation. Number one, Obama, the deportation operation that was in place, he just inherited Bush's deportation operation. And so that's number one. Number two, Obama counted border turnaways as deportation, so it's different. But I mean, obviously there needs to be more deportations. Trump wants to do the deportation. It's not like he doesn't want to do it. The vid where he yells coward and then runs at him. He's like, you're a fake and a fraud. He's like, yeah, he sprints after him. America lifespan, males 75 and a half, female 81. Man, they got like 5.5 years, 4.5 years on us. What's your prediction on how this will play out? Will there be a deal? Yeah, I think there's going to have to be a deal at some point. There's going to have to be a deal at some point. But Israel would want a complete topple probably of the Iranian leadership. There's going to have to be a deal. Trump knows that there can't be a prolonged situation in the Middle East. I mean, we're already showing we're already helping Israel as it is shoot down these missiles and stuff. So Trump knows there's going to have to be something. Now, hopefully Iran comes to their senses and says, well, you know what? We don't want the U.S. involved. And if they continue to escalate, that's what's going to happen. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, we don't want this to spill over. We don't want this to become a longer monthly. Because the thing is we don't even have the Ukraine-Russia situation solved. And I defend Trump in that because people say, well, he said he'd solve it day one. And I said he's being hyperbolic. It's because, you know, at least we want to solve it. But that's a war that's still going on. Now you've got another hot war. So now you've got 2 wars happening. When you said you would end the one, but now there's 2. But I think they don't get enough credit for helping with the Pakistan-India stuff. But I mean, that was, you know, people don't care about that. Jank Yogurt is pissed. Yeah, he's been really anti-Israel. So he's found refuge with some people on the right on that. But I'm sure he's mad about it. No new wars. Well, I don't know if this is... Listen, let's see what happens within the next week. I wouldn't call this a war yet. Because, I mean, was India-Pakistan a war? It lasted a week. I mean, we don't know what's going to be happening this next week. Trump wants negotiations. You know, I'm not coping. This is serious. I mean, Trump wants there to be negotiations, so we need to just see what happens. I mean, Trump, you know, I think that Axios report is false, honestly, dude. I know. Why did Trump lie about the involvement with Israel? I mean, because that's a false report. You have a lot of false reports going around, I think. But they said it was because he wanted Israel to be able to catch Iran off guard, and that's why they were able to penetrate. As I mean, the strikes from from Israel were extremely accurate and successful. That's what they said. And part of that is because Iran, I guess, had their guard down. That's what they're presuming. You have been saying this for weeks. Even a nuclear war could not drop the stock market. The only thing that will drop it is Trump hate. Well, I mean, this will definitely... I mean, it's already dropped. I mean, there's going to be reactions to even something like this. I mean, just take a look at the reactions to Russia-Ukraine. The oil prices. There's global reactions when wars break out for sure. But, I mean, I think the market's in a relatively good spot right now. We need the rate cuts to happen. That would be the next step. Well, no, I think Trump wants more negotiations with Iran. You know, he's trying to put pressure on Iran through Israeli action. I mean, this is something I didn't want to have happen, man. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants to see this happen, man. Nobody wants to see it happen. The question is, how do we get through this? And could it be better, you know, to where Iran's in a weakened spot in terms of their negotiations? I mean, maybe that's what Trump wants. Trump is still maintaining the same rhetoric. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Couldn't care less about Israel or Iran. Most of the Middle East is worthless. Yeah, it's just, you know, there's global markets with oil, and so it does matter. But I agree. I think the Middle Eastern involvement should be minimal. We just don't want there to be wars there. Isn't it only a war if one of the countries declares it official on the other? Yeah, and I don't know. Has that happened? Because I saw, I mean, you see a lot of this stuff that comes out. I saw a tweet that said Iran prepares to declare war against Israel. But that's the only thing I saw on that. So I would imagine they haven't done it yet, because I think I probably would have seen it. Thank you for the $10. Call me crazy, but if Iran didn't want to negotiate in good faith, something tells me carrying out a massive strike against them isn't going to ease the relationship. Such a dumb decision. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's the thought of, well, there were negotiations. There were negotiations, 5 rounds of them. So there was communication between both parties, but I mean, at some point, I'm guessing the administration... Listen, this is the thing, is Israel's wanted this for a while. They wanted it in April. They want it now. Hezbollah is weakened. You see the new headlines coming out. Hezbollah is not going to interfere. So they've wanted this, and they've been pushing Trump. And I guess they pushed Trump far enough, and they got it done. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, the relationship is not in a good spot. It would be more negotiations from Iran out of desperation rather than trying to get a good deal. Because they were negotiating 2 days ago to try and get a good deal. Now it would be like, well, obviously Iran does not want the U.S. to join in. But if we join in, that's going to be a bunch of money. You're talking about the military-industrial complex kicking up significantly into the Middle East. You're talking about a prolonged Middle Eastern war. Even if Israel comes out on a positive note, which with the U.S. support is likely what would happen, it would be a net negative for Trump. Alexander, Israelis won't be dancing anymore once Iran is done. Thanks for the donation. Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin doing a joint live stream right now explaining why the U.S. and MAGA need to get on board with Israel, no questions. Well, I mean, they just fearmonger, the talking points against Arabs and stuff, and I mean, these countries are thousands and thousands of miles away. Go look at what bin Laden said about why the towers fell. It was because of Israeli support. But listen, it's more complicated than that. It is. And I just hope that the situation is figured out within the next few weeks. Because if this drags on, it becomes an issue. Because, again, you already have a hot war in Europe. Now you're talking about someone saying, well, what about India, Pakistan? You never know with India, Pakistan. There's been fighting in that region on and off since the British left. So imagine that kicks up again. So it's a risky thing to be dealing with this right now. That's what I would say. The Iran leader's been posting a lot on X today. Yeah, I know. I was seeing that. Trump just did a 180 on his 2 biggest campaign promises in the span of a single... Well, I mean, I think you're overreacting now. How does he do a 180 on immigration when you're talking about 400 farmers? 400 farmers getting temporary visas. That you can't say that's a 180 on deportations. 200 farmers getting their visas extended on farm. I mean, 200 illegals getting their visas extended. It's not, that's not what that is. And then the other stuff with this, I mean, Trump was trying to negotiate. Yes, he said that he would supply Israel, but he's been trying to negotiate, and Israel undermined it, and so it's not good. I agree, but this is Israel's war. They can have it, and Trump said that, and Rubio said that. They said, you know what, we're not. But the problem is, if there's some type of strike, or I mean, they're saying a U.S. embassy has been hit. There's always gonna be U.S. involvement in terms of Israel, just because of how much money we give them. So it's hard to say, well, we're not involved. By proxy, we're always involved. Any updates? I've been seeing Iranian strikes. U.S. aid is just unbelievable. $500 million. We're months into Trump's trade and economic agenda. Prices are falling. Inflation slowed. Shelves are not empty. No, I agree. I think the economy is doing well. For the most part, it's doing well. We might have a bit of an issue with energy prices going up, but that's because of the Israel situation. But yeah, no, it's I've been saying inflation's been good for a while now. What do Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE think of the strikes since Trump visited them? Well, I mean, they're all extremely oil-rich countries, so you're going to secure investments from them, but I would imagine they're I haven't heard anything from any of those countries in terms of their reaction. I know a lot of the reaction I've seen from Russia, from China, from Japan has been condemning the strikes and saying they want to help create peace. BB thanks Trump yesterday, but I guess you'll die on the Trump is pro-peace president. Well, I mean, well, Israel is an ally to Trump, so Trump has a good relationship with Netanyahu. We know this. But whether or not you think Trump is a peace president, let's actually see what happens over the next few weeks. Let's not overreact to this. Gas is about to go up. Yeah, but if you look at what crude oil has done, it's really, it's tame. Gas will go up only by about 15, 20 cents. That's my prediction. I mean, if this is extended and they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, it becomes a problem. But then it becomes direct U.S. involvement if they do that. They can't shut down that strait. Then the U.S. is going to be involved for sure. Mister, thank you for the $10. The elite have another thing coming if they think another generation of young white men will willingly fight for their interests. You hope the DEI chain of command is ready. Yeah, I know. People have been saying that I'm going to get drafted and stuff. And I'm trying to tell them, you know, it's not going to happen. Come on. But people keep saying it. And they say, are you going to keep your YouTube channel after getting drafted? Well, I'm a reporter, so it can't happen. No, I'm kidding. But no, there's not going to be a draft, guys. Come on. They said the world has plenty of oil and prices may go up slightly only. Yeah, but the issue is, in terms of the oil that we have, it comes from fracking, so it costs more to produce. So the oil in the Middle East is valuable in terms of global prices. But no, I agree. Even with this, it's like I was looking at crude oil and I was like, oh, it only went up to about $73. You know, I like the crude oil at around 60 to 65, but 73 or 71, whatever it's at, that's not that bad. That's not that high. I mean, look at it where it was in 2022, 2023 compared to where it is now. I mean, it was in the 90s, 80s. This can't last weeks. It can't last even more than this weekend. No way. I don't think you quite understand all the unintended consequences. Well, I've said tonight that I want it to be over as quick as possible. China needs Iran's oil. Will they stand by and watch? Well, according to Waltz, they would be the best negotiator. That's what he said. But yeah, you would think China and Russia, they'd be very upset with this. And Russia apparently came out with a statement and was. But apparently Putin met with Netanyahu today. You read PBS did a poll today and Trump's approval is already down on the war news. Well, I mean, that's just... normies are not going to like any type of war or escalation, no matter what happens, no matter who you think it's caused by. So there's going to be immediate reaction that's negative against any type of war. That's just the reality. Criteria for draft is 18 to 29. And ginger. They're not going to I'm actually an immigrant from Ireland. I was born in Dublin. I'm an Irish national. I'm an illegal immigrant from Ireland. I can't be drafted. 18 to 35? No, it's like 18 to 36, I think, or something like that. Do you think Israel expected to get hit this hard from Iran? Yeah, I know that we'll have to see the reaction to it, but I'm sure it just depends. I mean, they had to expect something if there's targeted strikes against specific scientists and government officials. Actually streaming from Ireland. It would be really dark out though if I was. It's like 4 a.m. there. They're ahead. Ireland, Ireland's probably like 5 hours ahead of me. Maybe 6. PBS's far left trash poll. Yeah, I don't know what the PBS poll was. I don't know. Is Trump's approval rating? Let me actually just look at this. What was this? The 12th to the 13th? Is that? This Truflation is going to be affected by it's going to be affected by the energy going up. All right, let's quickly look at this. Rasmussen +8. Let's see. This is good. Get that in the composite. Give me that -3. Well, this Quinnipiac just screws everything. Yeah, Quinnipiac definitely hurts. The insider advantage +11. Do you see some Iranians support the Israel attacks? Well, because they hate their own government. During Vietnam draft, it was based on birthdays and your initials. Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember learning about that. Trump really wants the Iran deal. Do you think we'll get it done in a short time frame? Well, it depends. It depends this response from Iran and how it depends also what Russia and China say. I don't think Russia and China don't want this to continue, so I'm not sure Iran's going to get a ton of support. Hopefully there can be some type of ceasefire. Why aren't women drafted? They want equality without any other responsibility. Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm someone that doesn't think women should be drafted, but I also don't believe in feminism because both genders have their own roles to play. But I mean, you are right if you're talking about the modern feminism with everything being equal. But that's just, I mean, all illegals should be drafted first. The Russia model. Your chat has actual diversity of opinion. Do a poll on Trump approval. Now, my chat supports Trump, I'm sure. Let me set this up right now. What is it? Do you approve of Trump? Do you approve of Trump? All right, this is all the poll is, and this is based off of where we're at right now within this presidency. All right, I just started it. This has got to be it's got to be a high rating for Trump here. Trump with a lot of support. Yep. 80-20. $83-17. We're just an echo chamber. Trump always wins. Trump always wins. You're the only positionless psychopath in the chat. Well, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. That's what I said, independence. But there's a lot of Trump support here. 85-15. Talk about what happened to Greta Thunberg. Well, she wanted a publicity stunt, and Israel said, get the fuck out. I mean, that's basically what happened. You supported Trump until he broke his election promises. He didn't break them, though. You have to give it time. You approve of Trump until the Israel shit. I'm sure most people agree. Yeah, I mean, dude, we got to figure out what happens here, and there's going to be a quick ceasefire, I'm sure. Hello from Australia. Let me guess the time in Australia right now, man. 4:52 in the afternoon on Saturday. That's the time in Australia. Now maybe 3:52. You think Greta was still a child the way she acts? Yeah, but how about all those people trying to simp for her, and then Israel's just like, just get the fuck out. Go home, bitch. Move, bitch. Voted Trump, but backtracking on mass deportation and now Middle Eastern wars. Well, but you have to understand, he's not backtracking on the mass deportation. He said it's like 100 farmers are going to have temporary visas. He's like, well, maybe like 10 farmers might get visas. That's what I think it is. The only way to see change for an approval rating for you to drop, not for me at the moment. A few days ago, it was looking great. I hope you don't get drafted. Would miss your YouTube. Guys, this is a joke. It's a joke. I'm not going to be drafted. I'm not going to be drafted. I mean, if I got drafted, that would be an issue for my career. The illegals would get drafted before me, guys. It's not a big issue. Oh, man. Ukraine war keeps escalating. He told Palantir to create a database of every American. He's allowing Israel to reel us into another war. Deportation numbers aren't looking great. 500K Chinese. Well, the deportation, it's around 700K in 4 months. Think about that. 700K in 4 months. They're going to be able to get... They're going to get a lot out. The Chinese was because of they had to do a deal. They had to do a trade deal. That's why the Chinese the Chinese nationals had to stay. All right, people want me to do a different poll. Let me do this right now. Do you wait, do you agree with supporting Israel? Do you agree with supporting Israel? Yes, no. All right, there it is. Yeah, people like polls. They think their voices are getting heard. They're like, now we're taking over the channel from him. The people have taken it over from me. Define support. Just aiding Israel. It's just aiding Israel, and I mean, I'm not saying if you don't support them, they're your enemy. It's just do you support in terms of all of this involvement within the Middle East to where we have to help them with everything? Too broad. I mean, but I can only make the question, so there's only so many characters within the question for a poll. Yeah, it's about 50-50. Bryson DeChambeau missed the cut. That was a bad pick by me. Well, let's see. I think I'll take Scott Scheffler as my new pick. Let me actually pick someone now. Let me be real about this. PGA. Who the hell is Sam Burns? Who's this Russian guy? I'll pick Brooks Koepka to make a comeback and win. Do you support U.S. troops in Israel? I think that'd be like 80-20 now. I don't think many people support that. The Trump poll was too big to rig. Yeah, the Trump poll was 80% support for Trump. Still, even with the chat being against Trump, the silent majority, that's with Trump, it's the silent majority. It's 2 a.m. in Ireland. Well, then they're like 6 hours ahead. Do you support direct U.S. military involvement in Iran? That would get a bunch of no's. Trust me, dude. It'd get like 90% no. Who is Sam Burns? Some no-name little kid, I guess, is doing well at the PGA Tour. Dude, if I ask direct military involvement, it's just going to be a bunch of no's. Do you like gummy bears? I mean, gummy bears are fine. I haven't had a gummy bear in a while. Long time. Big baller. Come on, man. I mean, it's like, what kind of stuff is that, man? You think the Pacers win the finals now or no? No, I still think the Thunder win. I mean, the Thunder still have a 64% chance. Wow, U.S.-Iran nuclear deal still has a chance. And it's going up in the past few days. Yeah, that's because Trump talked about it. It's way up. DG2 stream. Dude, if I did a stream on DG2, it would get like 5 viewers, honestly. Maybe if I get bigger and I want a smaller stream, then I'll do it. But there's no point because the chat is still flowing. If I ever get too big to where the chat can't flow or it flows too fast. Do a DG for president poll. It might be how you start your 2028 campaign. Yeah, I'm not eligible, sir. You think the riots are going to disappear now? Well, they're certainly moved to the back burner 100%. Tomorrow, though, they're going to reappear because there's a bunch of them. I don't know if they're going to be riots, but there's a bunch of protests happening. Do you think the people saying it's World War III are just fear-mongering? Of course, they always do this. Say goodbye to the small chance of an interest rate cut this month. Yeah, but it was never happening anyways. It was never going to happen. But yeah, maybe Trump could have pressured, but I doubt it. Russia's southern border now compromised. You left Salty Cracker's live stream of 30K live viewers. Wow, that's... Salty Cracker. Is that a conservative? Favorite ever NBA team? My favorite NBA team, I guess, is the Cavs. I don't really watch the NBA much anymore. What would you do in this situation with Israel, Iran? Well, it's you know, Trump is probably getting pulled 100 different ways. There's a lot of Israel influence within the government, so I would certainly I would have done a deal with Iran. You know, I would have done a deal. I just can't. I would just want to completely avoid any of that, especially with the economic situation we have. You don't want to disturb it. I'm not saying it's totally cooked, but you know, if there's a prolonged war, there's going to be an issue with energy prices. And just in general, the sentiment's going to be worse. Just consumer sentiment. If there's a long Middle Eastern war. What's the latest news? The latest news has been Iran responding with strikes.
Correspondent Trey Yingst has been up all night, is standing by with all the details. Trey, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Laura, following that Israeli attack against Iranian nuclear facilities and top IRGC leadership overnight and into today, the Iranians have responded with 3 waves of ballistic missiles. This is Israel's version of the Pentagon, the Kiryat. And the building on this compound was just hit.
Please go back. Go back, please. Go back, please.
You can understand here, it's very tense at this specific location because the Iranians are now targeting the defense establishment of Israel. And so I'm going to have my cameraman pan up here to this building just across the street from the Kiryat. And so...
Wow, they hit a compound that's equivalent to the Pentagon. I thought we were getting rid of this. But they have a lot of land in Utah. They have a lot of land in Utah. No, we're not gonna do any more polls right now, man. We're not gonna do any more polls. They're buying a bunch in the Northeast right now. I thought they made it illegal. At least it doesn't look like Russia or China will get involved. Yeah, no, I saw those statements. Those were good statements in terms of this potentially moving into a, possible ceasefire situation. If they got involved and seriously supported Iran, it would be not good. What would it take for you to be the happy ginger? That's never going to happen. My channel's never going to be changed. I mean, my channel name is not going to be changed, so I don't know. Do you think Israel won't stop until regime change? I mean, but they can't get regime change without serious U.S. support. Like, serious support. I mean, look at the population of Iran versus the population of Israel. They would need U.S. and significant U.S. involvement. Would Trump do that? You should do 2 streams, one on vertical. They get lots of viewers. Yeah, but what do you mean? Like, I do know what you mean, but I don't know. I mean, how much more viewers do you think I would get? Like vertical, that's like the TikTok thing or the shorts. Why are you seeing Tim Walz everywhere? Yeah, because conservatives love to clown on him, and he was relevant as the VP Democrat. My streams go black every 15 minutes? No way. About 300. Did the whale enter the chat? Yeah, the whale already entered. Yeah, we'll look at Rapid, and this will be a while if I get to Rapid. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit.
We're focusing our military on its core mission. The military's job is to dominate any foe and annihilate any threat to America anywhere, anytime, and any place.
The protest did not create any violence.
The president is sending the National Guard
because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
If we didn't go, Los Angeles right now would be on fire.
The mission in Los Angeles is not about lethality. It's about maintaining law and order.
We're focusing our military.
Trump military propaganda. Screen's going black because of your ad block? Probably. Is there anything from Trump today? Any public speech? Any appearance? Trump's going to be delivering a speech tomorrow in front of the military. Did you see what Newsom said about Trump's military parade? He was like a... Dude, Newsom is just so fake.
So I'm very hopeful this order puts that in perspective, and hopefully Donald Trump will immediately back down. The courts have ruled on the guard. They will be back under my command, and he'll be relieved. Donald Trump will be relieved of his command at noon tomorrow.
Oh, wow. It's the Trump taco joke. God, these people have third grade level of humor.
Saturday in response to this military event.
Do it peacefully. It's a vulgar display.
It's a vulgar
the kind
display.
of thing you see Kim Jong-un, you see it Putin, you see it with dictators around the world that are weak and just want to demonstrate strength. Weakness masquerading as strength. To fet the dear leader on his birthday, what an embarrassment. Honestly,
it's a demonstration.
That's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness? That's Donald Trump.
How many times is he going to mention weak? Oh, man. Trump has the ultimate authority. Trump has the authority. Trump was elected to have all the authority and the power. These people can't cope with it. Putin can stand up to Israel. Well, we'll see what Trump does. I mean, Trump has, in the past, done some things against... Trump has done some things for peacefulness in the Middle East. That's what I'll say. And this is the next step. And Trump said we're not involved. Yeah, we fund it, but we're not involved. The new Call of Duty trailer looks crazy. Oh, wait. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the trailer. It looked like, what was it, Infinite Warfare? It's like, come on with this. They Call of Duty. Just give us, like, remastered BO1 or some shit. That would be 10 times better than whatever the hell they're doing with BO7. It's going to be BO8, BO9. The guy wants to be president so bad, it's obvious. Yeah, well, he'll be like the Jeb Bush of the Democratic Party, where people think, it's like, always, it's going to be him, it's going to be him. He'll flame out. Of course he'll flame out. Will we be involved when Iran starts hitting American bases? Why would Trump approve this? Well, Iran's not going to do that. They don't want us in the war. Infinite Warfare is goated. Dude, I don't even remember. I mean, there were the 3 jetpack games. Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, BO3. Was Advanced the first one, then BO3, then... I thought Infinite was the worst out of the jetpacks. You hate slow mode? You really hate slow mode on my chat? Well, listen, my chat had some serious problems with people coming in and graffitiing it, so I had to put on slow mode. I put on slow mode it probably like a year ago at this point. Your super chat was referring to Trump propaganda video. Wait, let me see this. The new Call of Duty. Oh, yeah, all right. Well, the thing is, there actually was a new Call of Duty trailer. That's the thing. So I thought okay, it makes sense. Either way, it would have made sense, honestly, because there was a new Call of Duty trailer that came out like 2 days ago. You hate slow mode too? Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to read it then. BO2 is the last good cut. Yeah, I mean, I like World War II, the Sledgehammer game in 2017. I like the multiplayer of it. But I like World War II in general, just that vibe. But these newer ones have been bad. Even the World War II newer one. Like Cold War. It's like 1950s, 1960s. Cold War it's the game mechanics. The game mechanics are by far the most important part. Time to kill. What happened to the Trump 2028 donation guy? Yeah, he'll come in about one every 3 or 4 streams. He'll meander in and give one donation, and he's kind of I think he's migrated to other streams now. He's migrated away from this one, but he was harassing this stream for many days straight. Many days he was harassing the stream with $2 donations, talking about Trump 2028. Skill-based matchmaking ruined COD. Yeah, and there's just a bunch of sweats too. I mean, you're watching me from Alberta, USA. Maybe one day. I don't know. I'd have to look into that some more, see what the latest news is. World at War was a really good old COD. Well, all the old CODs, I think. World at War, BO1, BO2, BO3, that was a good. People like, MW2, MW3 as well. I like BO1. Zombies the best. What did you think about COD Ghost? Terrible. Time to kill was way too quick. Yeah, COD Ghost was not good. Time to kill was like hardcore mode the entire time you're playing, just regular multiplayer. There was a guy crashing out 3 months ago because I wouldn't read his chat. He had a whole meltdown. Yeah, that happens from time to time. You'll get that. I haven't had that the past few streams, though. I just can't get to all the chats and stuff. And sometimes people join and they get angry. You should bring Red Eagle Politics on. I did bring him on. You could go see it. It was probably like, I don't know when I brought him on. Maybe April? How does Greenland annexation tie with Israel-Iran conflict? Yeah, it all ties together. It all ties together. That's one of that's like a 5D chess play from Trump. He wants Greenland, so everyone's distracted with this, and then he's going to take it. No, I'm just kidding, but I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with it. I mean, you could argue that it ties in because it's a territorial change. But I don't know. Trump needs to really move on it if he wants to. You do it during a distraction. You just swoop in and take it. Yeah, there's a Middle Eastern situation going on. We're just going to take this land and help these people out. We want to help them. We want to take land. The thing is when we conquer an area, it's to help the people. It's not gaslighting. You hate looking at Newsom? Well, I mean, nobody believes that guy. He's a fucking con man, Joe Rogan. Newsom is still bitching. Trump administration moves to abolish California's two newest national monuments. What, the statue of the black woman? They're gonna tear it down? No shit, Gavin. No, I'm kidding. That statue's in NYC. D Money, what's up, man? What's your best coin? Probably NASDAQ 420. Coins. Yeah, the coins have been not doing too well today. I guess it's not surprising. Trump's birthday. Yeah, don't buy this. Don't buy this. This is going to go back down. Oh, how did that Friday the 13th coin do? I don't think it did anything. I think the dude might have rage quit. I don't think the Friday the 13th coin did anything. Burn coin. Global money supply. Peace guy. Global money supply. That's a nice chart. Normally I like looking at Ethereum coins. SPX 6900, 1.4 billion. That's a hoss. What's the World War III coin at? There's probably a bunch of them. Yeah, I was in one of these World War III coins, but I got out of it. It wicked up. It wicked up over 1 million. It wicked up over 1 million. 69 to 1 million. That's a good 12x, 14x. These coins are getting out of hand. Yeah, the peace coin. The dude was bragging about the peace coin. It's actually holding up. He was bragging about it yesterday. It's holding up. I wonder if he sold it. You sold Friday the 13th coin last night for like $300 profit. Come on, man. You were telling me about that coin forever, and now you're saying, well, I got $300 out of it. Now the COPE comes in. The COPE has entered. No, actually, that's not bad. I lose money when I do that, so it's not bad. Jewcoin. I don't even think that's on here. $87K. DeepSeek R2. Yeah, I'm in the main one. I don't think I'm in R2. I used to be in R2, but I got out of it. Dude, but that's not... You know what they said about DeepSeek? They said it wasn't coming out until August. Did you hear about that? The R2 is not coming out till August. I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm done with this. I'm sick of dealing with this. I just buy this. What is Grok 4 at? It's got to be under 100, Grok 4. God, these people are just annoying how they front run these things. They literally front run this coin. It's not even coming out until Q4. This is a good chart. I'm not even lying. This is a good chart. Are you live streaming tomorrow? Yeah, I should be because there's all the protests and stuff. Time for a DG coin. Yeah, put Making on Ethereum. Election Wizard has Bannon clip. All right, I'll look at that, man. I'll look at it. Where's the Trump coin? The Trump coin doesn't really move because it's been at like 2 billion forever. Yeah, it continues to flounder. It's been around 2 billion for months now. I think this might have been when Eric Trump mentioned it or something. I don't know. Somebody mentioned it right here, and this caused a little bit of a wick. I think it might have been Eric Trump. What about World Liberty Financial? Is that what it's called? World Liberty Financial, I think, is what it's called. It's Trump's platform. Is it World Financial? I thought it was this. I know there's meme coins about it, but I don't know.
And I'm not worried. People say, oh, it's going to tear MAGA apart. No, it is not going to tear MAGA apart at all. We may have needed to do this, to decide who's really America first and who's still a neocon. Who's still a neocon. And if I'm hurting your feelings, I'm sorry. Your feelings are going to have to get hurt. And I'm not in the Tucker Carlson, the Kurt Mills. I know those guys well. I respect them a lot. But when you decide to do something and you're going to do it on your own, then do it on your own. If you're going to make that decision, just like Zelensky in this crowd, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't try to get us sucked into it, because right now, inexorably, I have preached this gospel. Inexorably, we're being drawn into a massive land war, World War III.
Yeah, and at some point, Trump's got to. We got to stop it. I agree. You can't buy World Liberty Financial. Yeah, no, I know, but you can. There's meme coins based around it. That's what I was talking about. The actual coin is it's a governance token. It's a governance token that they're releasing in Q3. Can you make more COD Zombies videos? Your knock video was great. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, but the algorithm really doesn't like that when I do it. Does Bannon run in 2028? Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere, though, if he runs. He might run just for the thrill of, you know, getting on the debate stage and stuff, getting national attention. Will you play GTA 6 when it comes out next May? I think everyone's going to play it just at least a little bit. And the thing is maybe, I don't know, I never play GTA online. Maybe I'll play online. But when I was younger, there was really no online, even the GTA 5. But now online is like the only thing people play. Make it on the second channel. Yeah, I might release a ranking on the second channel, maybe. That would probably help with organic views. Why would you buy a meme coin of a coin you can't buy? You'd have a better chance making money off scratch-off tickets. Well, I can explain it to you. Honestly, I can if you want. Let me just explain to you this fundamentally. Think about it. World Liberty Financial, the meme coin, nobody is talking about it right now. It's not available. When it becomes available, it's a governance token. Barely anyone's going to buy it, but they're going to see it trending. So then the meme coin goes up. That's the reality of it. I can tell you it's going to happen. I mean, I couldn't find what the meme coin was, but I can tell you the meme coin's going to go up when people talk about it. When people talk about an event, that's when it goes up. And so that's the strategy behind it. GTA, Epstein, DeepSeek. Yeah, those are all. You're right. Those are all. Those have all took a. Those are all coins you think would do well. You know, the Epstein coin, that was. But even when Musk mentioned that Trump was in the Epstein thing, the Epstein files, you think it would go to like 5 million. It barely goes to 1 million. It wicks over 1 million. There's like no money in this market. .9% of my audience is male. Wow, yeah, well, that's because it's politics. What do you think? That's how it is with every political person. It's not. This is known. No. I was explaining the situation in a fundamental way. I didn't say the meme had a fundamental aspect of it. That was not. But now we're getting into definite. But you understand what I was saying. Do I make over 100K streaming? No, I don't make over 100K streaming. How would I make over 100K streaming? Listen, I make decent. Sometimes I make good money. Like this week streaming, I made good money. Sausage Fest coping. Yeah, you don't understand how how when you have a channel, it's just how it is. It's not. Even Shoe on Head has 99% male. Oh, the woman that is like kind of a Republican, I guess. Make a poll asking if you're hot or not. Dude, we're getting to like fucking 6th grade stuff now. I mean, are we really like this? Cory Booker again. It's always something with Cory. He's trying to fundraise for 2028.
If you could make Alex Padilla forcibly kneel before this executive, when does it stop? He's a United States senator. And if you could force him to kneel to his knees violently, when does it stop? What does it say to other Americans who want to speak up? What does it say to other Americans that want to exercise their constitutional duty? What does it say to other Americans this weekend when they want to peacefully protest? What does it say to other Americans from humble backgrounds who know poverty? That if a United States senator who stands up to do his job can be made to heel, driven to his knees, violently handcuffed, what does it say? What message does it send? Everybody in this body should see that this is a crossroads.
Why won't bro answer my damn question? I'm sorry. I'll answer it. Just give it again. Just give it again.
They treated a member of the United States Senate violently after he identified himself, dragged him out of a room, threw him upon the ground, and put him in handcuffs. Every member of this body should object to that. Why? Because the statement was that he was disrespectful. That is unacceptable. That is offensive. That is un-American. When you drive a man to his knees.
I don't even know. Is this like the third time this clip is played? I don't even know. I don't even care. This guy, it's just the same shit over and over again. Just the same shit. Yard sale Obama. That's what they call Hakeem Jeffries. It's one in this. They're two sides of the same coin. They're two sides of the same coin. He's gonna write a book on this. Yeah, he's gonna like play this and use it as a fundraising tactic. Remember when he talked for like 30? He talked for like 25 straight hours or something. Thoughts on a Booker Newsom 2028 ticket? Booker and Newsom are insufferable. Yeah, it would never happen. Booker, I don't even think Booker would be a VP. Maybe as a VP, I guess. If it was like a, I mean, Booker would be the submissive to like some white bitch, you know, female. Who's a white bitch on a power trip in the Democratic Party, and then Booker's the VP? Like Klobuchar. Favorite energy drink? All right, now you're starting to whine. Now you're starting to, you said I skipped your question. Now you're starting to you're starting to get angry. Calm down. What's my favorite energy drink? See, you asked nicely, so I'll answer. You're not throwing a hissy fit. My favorite energy drink would have to be a Monster Ice, whatever the fuck flavor it is. Monster Ice, 0 sugar. I never had one in a while. What has Charlie Kirk said? When Charlie Kirk is disavowing Israel, you know it's bad. No, he didn't disavow Israel. He said that the U.S. shouldn't be involved in an offensive war against Israel. Or against Iran in support of Israel. Monster Iced Tea, 0 sugar. I don't know if they have Monster Iced Tea. Methylene Blue. Yeah, I heard about that. That was the RFK stuff, and then Alex Jones started advertising it. You still remember the semen in your drink comment? Yeah, well, that was just an exaggeration, but I mean, yeah, I haven't had DoorDash, and it's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna trust other people with my food again. It's just not gonna happen. You remember the 2024 election polling videos updating us on who's leading between Kamala and Trump and wondering which side I was on? Yeah, well, that means I'm non-biased. I have been told I'm really non-biased. So thank you for that. And I am non-biased. So yeah, you're right. That was a good donation. Do you think Iran has sleeper cells in the U.S.? They could possibly do something tomorrow. I know. Yeah, that's what people have been saying with all of the protests happening. The timing of it's just impeccable to deal with the riots, and then Israel strikes on Iran, and then the military parade and all the protests. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope it's like they overhype it and it's nothing bad, but the people have talked about that, yes. Favorite childhood show? Favorite childhood show? Maybe iCarly. It's hard. I mean, when I was younger, we used to watch reruns of Full House all the time. Full House was a good show. They tried to remake it on Netflix. I don't think the remake was very good. All of the protesters need to be jailed. Well, if they break laws, they're going to be jailed. They should be. I mean, this is the problem. A lot of them get away with it. They all wear masks. You're Miranda Cosgrove. Dude, I never watched Ben 10. You gotta stop. Stop. No, I never watched that, seriously. When will you watch Drake and Josh again? I mean, but your name, I mean, the thing is it's just strange to have a name like that. I can only assume that you've got to be you've got to be 15. Your username. I mean, the usernames are just there's got to be 5 people that have me in their username now at least. The iCarly one, the Drake and Josh one, the DG Coin. There's a lot of them now. They're starting to creep up. They're just morphing. Malcolm in the Middle, that was a good show. That was a really good show. Watched a ton of Malcolm in the Middle when I was younger. Did you miss the super chats? I don't think it. No, I didn't miss any super chats. Tucker has lost you. Used to watch him every day. What about? I mean, I think Tucker made a good statement today about the staying out of wars and stuff. He's been like that for a while though. Tucker has. You would watch iCarly if you didn't know what Dan did. Yeah, Schneider. Yeah, what a fucked up situation. Are we cooked? There's some issues. No, I think we'll be all right, man. We'll be all right. There'll be a ceasefire here. I don't know. Is there any new posts from him?
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that thoughts on Passport Bros? You have a ton of coworkers that go to Colombia like 3 times a year. Yeah, dude. No, I agree with you 100%. I wouldn't do that, dude. That's desperation, though. Honestly, that's the ultimate desperation. You got to go to another country, which honestly, I do understand it to a degree with the women in the United States, the inflated egos, but that really should show you how bad it is. They go 3 times a year. Is that what that is when you go 3 times? I didn't know it was that extensive. I thought they just actually moved away and got a wife in another country, and then I don't even know, man. It's not good. Is this the parade or are we invading Mexico? Yeah, this is the setup to invade Mexico, actually. It's... I remember a Canadian parade, and I was like, this is Canada's parade. They're launching an invasion into the United States. I tweeted it out. If you don't answer my question, I'll unsubscribe. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't lose your subscription. Just put the question again, and I'll get to it. I'm sorry. I don't want to lose your subscription. I'm sorry. Don't blame them, though. The women over there are hot. Yeah, I mean, they're hot and they're less maintenance, and so it's... I mean, to a degree, but it's crazy that that happens. Where you hear there's a... Well, there's not a ceasefire yet. I hope there's going to be a ceasefire. War of 1812 reenactment. Or remember they're bitching about that. They're like, this was our land first. That's they were saying earlier this week. Do you know anything about the Trump movie that came out? You've been kind of curious about it. Yeah, I've seen clips from it. I never got around to watching it. I've seen clips from it. People say it's a decent acting. That's what I heard. Hot and less maintenance. What's not to... I know the inflated ego in this country is insane. If we're going into any war, Mexico should have top priority. What, in terms of invading Mexico? Whoa.
We got people breaking through the barriers of the Capitol building.
Insurrection.
People breaking through the barriers of the Capitol building.
Insurrection. This is horrible.
There's people that are breaking through the barriers.
What if they just let them in? What if they let them in? January 6th 2.0. Show us your Instagram reels. I don't use Instagram much. You're 34, blonde, and a Christian white nationalist. You love Trump. Wow, I appreciate that. We do have some females in the chat. This is... They're not lying. Oh, we got a proposal. We have a proposal from someone. We've got a proposal. Oh, she already denied you. Anything good on my For You page? No. This is what I was talking about. Thomas Massey tweets. Thomas hasn't said much in a while. Would you ever invite your followers to chat over stuff like on Discord on stream? Yeah, I tried it once. It was a mess, but it was my own fault because I didn't curate it properly and some trolls got in, I guess. I tried doing it last year. But I don't know, maybe I should shout out my Discord. Thoughts on Tim Pool? I like his beanie. Bro, if I see Thomas Massey tweets one more time, it's such a weird thing. Thomas Massey's really not even relevant right now. But now they're all starting to copy it. No, that's not true. That's not true, man. Stop. RedTube is reporting Germany will strike Iran tonight. Germany will? Oh, my goodness. So it's Germany's war. So it's the Germans that were helping Israel this whole time, not Trump. Wow. I'm being sarcastic. Massey coin. Yeah, that dude should buy. Somebody should buy the Massey coin. Who's ever doing that? Insurrection at the Capitol. That's true. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this stream. There wasn't a lot of news on this one, I'll be honest. A lot of it was just me reacting to the chat. I'm getting some proposals from people. They'll have to think about this. This is a lot to take in. This is the beauties of love. Bring back the car vlogs. You always say that, man. Yeah, I'll cover the riots tomorrow. A lot of haters in here tonight. I thought it was a small amount of haters, honestly. It was a lot of impressive chatters tonight. I give them credit. You check DG2 every day? Yeah, for a stream. Dude, if I ever get famous, if I ever get to like 1 million subscribers, because maybe I'll go mainstream sometime, then I'll need that channel as a refuge, as a safe haven. All right, guys, I'll see you.